And welcome back, everybody, to our second broadcast today. We are back with the Ascension Cup #1. I'm, of course, your host, ZvP, and with me is the lovely, the beautiful, the amazing. Welcome, everyone, Chase.
Grazie, light. Benvenuto a tutti. Torneo di videogiochi StarCraft 2. Oggi. Questo è nice. Questo Oreo. Yeah, I thought I should style on you because you style on my Spanish. Bust out the Italian.
Mate, you had the accent and everything. Oh my god.
Si. Yeah, how's that feel, like? So smart now, are we? But yes. We follow your camera, spawning in the top right position of this Ascension Cup. It is the Taiwanese Protoss. He is a machine. He is the opposite of bad. He is nice.
I thought you were gonna call him Guj, and then and that would go into his name because he's representing Good Game Gaming.
Oh, true. I forgot the. I always forget something.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of 2,000 Atmospheres LE, we have the Australian player himself representing the CranKy Ducklings. It is Oreo.
Si. Light. Do you see what I see?
We're not even casting a Latin American tournament. We're casting a Korean or an Asian event. Technically, shaking my head.
I mean, technically, we all came from the same ancestor, right? We're all that little, all that little phytoplankton.
True.
Billions of years ago. So.
Exactly.
I don't know why you're being so xenophobic, like.
Well, speaking of being xenophobic, this tournament is an invitational. It is not open to everyone, so a massive shout out to, as you can see on the screen right now, Team Super have been making a bit of a splash recently. They've been hosting a lot of tournaments. They started their pro team. We recently casted their first Latin American invitational, and now this is their equivalent, but in Korea.
Yeah, this is cool, and there's some big names today too. Like, it's going to be real exciting. You know, we're used to casting the Sparkling Tuna. We get, you know, maybe the occasional Bjorn or the occasional Keen. I mean, today we've got Trap, and we've got DRG, and we've got Bjorn. So,
oh yeah,
the Holy Trinity. This is going to be fun.
Exactly. We've got a big name from each race. We've got a bunch like mixed in between as well. We even have some non-Koreans. We have a couple of Taiwanese players. Demi is here. Oreo is here. Beastork is here as well. So I'm honestly pretty excited to see how this will go on, and how everyone will compare to each other, right? Like, I know we like to cheer on our boy Oreo, but, you know, nice. He's an okay player as well.
Oh yes, and as we say that, he lets the Ling in, but actually this is if you send one Ling immediately when your Lings pop, it should be able to sneak in before the Adept, unless they Chrono Boost it hard. But I'm gonna get the Scout off, see the Stargate, and what do you think's going on here? Like, we've got a triangle third base. I'm predicting Oreo to maybe secure the 9 o'clock base, the top left side, where he cut off the avenue between the main and the third. But Nice is a very good player, so I'm predicting maybe an Oracle after this Void Ray.
Yeah. I mean, a shout out to Oreo for being able to scout without using an Overlord to begin with. Sometimes it can be pretty difficult to do that. He was even able to scout the initial Void Ray, but yo, as you said, a bit of a supply block. But an Oracle is on the way. Don't get us wrong, it's on the way.
It is indeed, and we see this Overlord going to be forced away. This Void Ray is just going to clear out the scouting, you know, just to hide, and that's actually really quite a fast third base. We've got actually it's not that fast by Nice, but it is, you know, reasonably fast considering that the tech at his disposal. No shield battery, and Oreo's going to scout that almost immediately, so good scouting by Oreo.
Yeah, nicely done. I'm really curious when it comes to Nice, when it comes to like his playstyle at the moment. We talk about it briefly every now and then about how we are on a new patch, and we have casted Nice already on this patch, on this channel on the CranKy Ducklings, but PvP. So I'm curious as to how he's adapted to the new patch in this matchup. Looks like he hasn't really, as he is still getting +1 air, and I mean, it looks like he's still continuing to pump out those Void Rays.
Yeah, we'll see. Ooh, nice. Good micro there by Oreo to cut off that avenue, but we kind of see Now that Warp Gate's finished up, Oreo's going to scout. He should see that Warp Gate has finished and +1 air weapons is on the way. So, as he said, like, maybe we're going to be seeing some sort of continuation of Sky Toss, second Stargate, and a Forge as well. So very macro-oriented play here by Nice.
Yeah, it's almost as if nothing has changed.
Blizzard!
shaking my head. Past some of the other players who suggested the patch. So yeah, basically double Stargate Void Ray. We have Forge for cannons. Like, this is pretty stock standard kind of macro Sky Toss play coming out from Nice. And the big difference, as we get a juicy stasis trap in the main base, is that Oreo cannot Queen Walk, so he's gonna have to approach this differently if he doesn't want to go to the late game.
Yeah, that's indeed, and we see Oreo, he feels pretty comfortable like going head to head here with Nice. He's not cutting any corners, he's getting the 5 roaches that he probably doesn't need, but better safe than sorry when your overlords get denied scouting. But this is the angle these two Void Rays coming in that's going to be a little hard to hold, as we see they can bounce between the main and the third base, and these Queens are really far out of position even for the third.
Yeah, they're focusing on taking down these rocks. They're not going to be in position in the main base. Yo, there's no Spore here either? Question mark? Oh no, the lair could be dead, but it actually avoids the lair and goes straight for the overlords.
Yeah, it looks like he knows with his firepower, the Queens probably get back to transfuse in time, so he's kind of picking his battles appropriate to the firepower he has. Oreo's going to push this away, but if we kind of look, even though he didn't lose any workers, there's a lot of mining time lost that probably, didn't need to be lost.
Yeah, exactly. At the same time, we have another Void Ray looking to try and deny this this hatchery as well. At the same time, Oracle is going to be distracting all these Queens, so we're going to be forced to see a cancel here, and at the same time, the Void Rays are going to hit that third.
And we see the multitasking of Nice here. It's really kind of stretching Oreo thin. He's hitting 3 bases at once, and it looks like he is going to lose maybe that Void Ray at the third base, and no, he's going to get it away. But looks like Oreo's had enough. He's going to lose his 4th, actually, if he doesn't cancel. No bueno. But he's got 14 Hydras on the way, like.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the creep highway is on the way as well, so I imagine he wants to try and go for a big push, especially because, again, he's got no 4th base, he doesn't have an infestation bid, he doesn't have a hive on the way, and he just continues to lose more and more workers. He's being so punished for not throwing down any spores.
Yeah, indeed. I feel like against these high-level players, you probably feel a bit comfortable against lesser competition skipping spores, but as we see, not many players, they utilize their early units with this much kind of going on, hitting 3 bases at once. But it looks like Oreo has had enough, and he's going to be pushing. And if you look at the natural, there's a lot of shield batteries coming down.
That's a lot of shield batteries, mate. Nice is getting ready for this massive all-in, essentially, from Oreo. He is walling his Queens. Obviously, these Queens cannot transfuse unless there's creep, and unfortunately, there are no overlords to help spread that creep. But they still have some decent DPS.
Yeah, I have to say the addition of these Ravagers is really going to help dealing with the wall, but Oreo is kind of forced in a bit of an awkward position here. Actually, this might be a good timing considering the carrier's coming out, and he's kind of in a really good position here. He can pick his battles, but as we know, the Queens can't transfuse. They're going to go down, and these Hydras need to support them.
Yeah, exactly. At the same time, the wall is actually breaking here. Now the follow-up Ling Flood can actually get not just into the natural base, but also into the main. At the same time, the Interceptors have now run out, and there are only 2 Void Rays here. Sure, there were a bunch of shield batteries, but there just wasn't a lot of DPS here. Oreo is breaking through in.
Yeah, and it looks like he's going to be able to get a Disruptor out. Nice. This is going to be very clutch. He's going to need a really good hit here to hold. Tempest being produced now, but how will Oreo react in time?
The Disruptor's out. It's going to go off, and it will connect. Oh my god, half the Hydras go down.
Half of them do go down, but is it enough? Like we see, there's a lot of units in the main. The Natural's actually gone down as well, and even though there's a few carriers out there, losing their Interceptors.
True, that they are, but you know what? The carriers are surviving. They are living. It looks like Oreo has kind of given up on the position or the idea of breaking into the main base. He's going to try and do as much damage as possible. Another juicy Disruptor shot goes off, and Nice will hold, and this is a scary thing because even though he lost the Natural, he kept the majority of his high-tech Sky units alive.
Indeed, and we see Nice is actually heading straight across, and Oreo is in a bit of an awkward position. He's scrambling, he's getting Queen's Hydras and a Spire on the way. The Spire will not be finished, and Oreo, even though he's got a very good Hydra count, he will need to be careful here. He did get the Disruptor, thankfully, but this is a very scary carrier force. He doesn't have a lot of spores at that third base location.
I think what's also important, he didn't just get the Disruptor, he got the robotics facility as well. So like any kind of additional Disruptor production, despite the Robo Bay being done, will be halted. So Oreo doesn't have to worry about splash damage for a while. only these Skytoss units, and I think there may be enough Hydras to just go toe-to-toe with the Interceptors. I think Oreo should be able to survive long enough to, yeah, to get these Spires up and running.
Yeah, looks like he will, thankfully. The biggest issue that's kind of happening for Oreo in this match, he did lose his 4th base to that Void Ray, and it's going to be a bit difficult to re-secure that, given the work account he is on, and nice. He doesn't need to get anything done, really. He can just kind of sit back on his 3 bases, macro up, you know, continue his Sky Toss. He did lose that Robo, but he does have these 3 Stargates, and it looks like that as this game goes on without a 4th base, Oreo starts to get into a tricky position.
Yeah, exactly. Right now, we're just waiting for Oreo to even double expand at this point. Like, he needs a 4th base ASAP, especially because the game is going on, right? Like, he's working on double Spire upgrades. Like, he doesn't intend to end the game anytime soon, so we need that base. And there we go. Finally, the 4th is thrown down.
And there we go, and we see that 4th base position going to be in the 9 o'clock, maybe to cut off, you know, some Tempest Harass from that angle until he gets a decent number of Corruptors out. I assume it's going to be Corruptors to follow up, but yeah, Oreo, it looks like he's a little bit scared, and Nice is responding very nicely, getting his own 4th base in response. But I feel like Oreo, with the drone count he's on now, is not an ideal situation. So as this game goes on, I'm feeling better for Nice in this gameplay.
Yeah, exactly. Like, sure, he has been slowed down, but by no means has he been stopped. And we need Oreo to tech up. Like, sure, he's got his Spires, but we're going to need some Hive tech. We're going to need some Vipers as well to help deal with all of these carriers, all these Interceptors. And more importantly, we need the gases at this 4th base. So Oreo is in a really awkward position. And I don't blame him for producing all these units, right? Like, I'm sure otherwise he potentially would have died, right? If Nice just counterattacked. So it makes a lot of sense, but he did end up putting himself behind in a way.
Indeedly do, Light, and we see 33 drones on that 3rd base ready to transfer over. We do see that Nice is going back into that Robotech with the Disruptors, and as you said, I really think Vipers here would be a really nice choice, but it's just a matter of if Oreo can identify it in time, because he is lagging behind a bit. He's behind in supply, and if we look at the armies, he's got Queen Hydra versus Carrier Tempest, and I don't need to tell you how good Protoss is, because your win rate Light, so...
This is looking like my ladder game, mate. Oh my god. Hydras against Skytoss, let's go. So yeah, things aren't looking too good here. At least the infestation bit is done. So we should see a Hive momentarily, I imagine, from Oreo. He's now getting fully saturated on 4 bases. Soon he's probably going to take another base as well. The big problem just comes in the fact that I feel like we're both seeing a nice move out soon, and Oreo isn't going to have the ideal army to deal with it. It's not going to be impossible to hold. It's just going to be very difficult.
Yeah, indeed, and we see he's actually kind of realised that, and he's taking into Infestors now to kind of supplement this army a bit better. The lack of Storm really makes Microbial Shard a bit easy to utilise. I think though with the Disruptors, he's still going to need to dodge a bit, because basically when you drop a Microbial Shard, you're saying, hey, my units are here, put your splash here, but he might actually catch his Disruptor.
Oh, just barely doesn't. Another Hydra caught out. No, not like this.
It's all on to, this is all according to plan, mate. we don't want Hydras. But yeah, you see, Nice is feeling comfortable now. He's just gonna move out. And these Infestors, you know, they're popped, but he doesn't have the upgrade. Instead, he's opted for Neural straight away, and I don't know if he's gonna have that in time to hold this.
Yeah, it feels bad. He rotates all of his spores towards the north, and then you see Nice trying to go through the middle instead. So Oreo, he's trying desperately to reposition every single one of his spores. Every single spore will matter in this next engagement. And it looks like Nice actually doesn't pull the trigger. He actually backs off.
Yeah, I'd expect to see him to maybe take a 5th base, secure a 5th here. That is the advantage of Spore Crawlers. You know, if you max out, you can supplement your firepower with them. They're kind of like a static army in that regard, and Ori has quite a large number of them. But as this game goes on, I feel like Nice, even though he's ahead at the moment, I feel like with the experience and a Mothership on the way, he might just be a bit too much for Oreo to take on. But Oreo is a good player in his own right, and once he goes into Hive Tech, we'll see what he does to counteract this army. Like,
exactly, like we're still waiting for those Corruptors as well. Like we see +1 air attack on the way, we see +1 air carapace is already done as well, but we're still lacking that. And now Nice is rotating around towards that natural entrance point. We do see a couple more spores being repositioned and a lot of these Infestors, but you're talking about it. Nice, he's perfecting his army. Storm is on the way.
Yeah, Nice. He's kind of big chilling. He's getting all the tech he needs. A Mothership. He's even getting the Tempest ground upgrades. So We see here just clearing out the cleat, asserting his dominance because Oreo cannot attack into this army, and it just kind of depends, if he feels comfortable enough to pull the trigger, and with that Guardian Shield he might, but there's a lot of spores.
Oh, that is all the spores. The disruptor shots are going to go up, and they will get 2 of these queens. Thankfully, only 2 queens. It wasn't the most juicy of connections. At the same time, Oreo goes for a little bit of a ling run by. It's not going to get too much damage done, but at least he confirms that a 5th base is on the way.
Yeah, and he probably expected that at this point. Probably not what he wanted to see, but he'd like to see it regardless. He'd prefer probably, being a bit happy to see his army pulled back, but not saying this mothership. I'm not sure if he has any. He's got a lot of detection and spore crawlers, but he's gonna need some overseers, light. And as we see, as he tries to secure this base, we could see a confrontation here.
Yeah, we definitely could. This is such an ambitious base to take as well. Like, oh my god, there are other bases to take, but he's just going for it. Meanwhile, oh god, there are just so many Tempests. Every single volley is just devastating, and we're just waiting to see him pull the trigger. And in the end, nice. Still, he doesn't commit. He doesn't want to fight into the spores. Here, there are barely any.
Yeah, really good army maneuvering by Nice, and he's going to come in. Oreo, he grabs some disruptors, but unfortunately they already go off, and as we see, he's got a bit of firepower. I think he might even be able to clean up these interceptors. Nice will need to be careful, but he just, once those microbial shots pop, he's going to be in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, exactly. Microbial shot doing a lot of good work here for the time being, but there are just so many Tempests, and with the force field, he can just walk away from the army. He doesn't have to engage and just wait out those shrouds.
Yeah, we see the sentries come into effect here. Very smart. Once Oreo was scrambling, he lost his Ravages after the Queen Walk. Just focus on anti-air, and as these disruptables come in, these Queens need to be careful, light. And I think that it looks like there just might be a bit too much here for Nice.
Yeah, exactly. There's not enough left here for Oreo. A lot of the interceptors have gone down, to be fair, and all these Queens are able to push their way forward, but oh god, is it really going to be enough? We do see a couple of Neurals coming into play. It's so hard to call.
Yeah, actually, we see a couple of these barriers going to go down, but I think that just looking at the economic situation both players are in, Nice now on 5 bases. He's going to be able to replace this army very easily. He's even morphing 12 cells, which is a good move. Oreo, I think it's just a little bit too much for him. And we see as these Queens are fighting, he can't inject. Yeah. And maybe with the Corruptors he can hold, but it's looking very devastating for Australian Zerg.
Yeah, honestly, this was a pretty tight hold here from Oreo. Like, he was down, I think, 40 supply or 50 supply at the start of the engagement. So very impressive how he was able to utilize his spellcasters. And with the reinforcements, it looks like he will be able to clean this up. But it's all about that economic position. Like, we see Nice just going for a Zealot run by. Like, we see a recall as well. He escapes with a decent portion of his carriers, and Oreo survives, but like the Zealots though,
It's too money based. You never want to be using Fungal against Zealots really if you don't have any army, and we see he's forced to make some roaches here, and Nice is just kind of executing this harass perfectly. You want to overextend with your spores to one base, or hit elsewhere with my air and then hit it with the ground instead, so the spores are useless. So Oreo, even though he'd do a very good hold and he's draining back up, we already see Nice is already at 174 supply.
Yeah,
it's looking dire. Like,
again, I'm shocked by how well Oreo held there. Like, he actually brought all the spores from the north over to the south as well. Like, that's like the spores did like impact the fight in a pretty major way. So like, again, I'm very impressed with the hold. But as impressive as it was, right? Like, your opponent is up 2 more bases, right? Like, they just keep expanding, and Nice should be pushing out once again now that he's remaxed.
Yeah, I certainly think credit should go to Oreo. He held quite well with the utilities at his hand. It's just unfortunate that he didn't have enough of the utilities. Yeah. So he did manage to clean that up, but as we saw, he loses his space he fought so hard to kind of take a little bit out there. And as Nice takes the 6th base and Oreo kind of struggles with Queens and Infestors, we see High Templar coming into the mix, which will really punish the Zerg army.
Yeah, storms are going to come into play. We're going to have some feedbacks as well on these infestors. Oreo is trying to take that 5th base towards the south. Whether or not he'll get it up and running before the game ends, so we'll find out. A couple of Broodlords are being morphed in, which is great. I just don't know if there are going to be enough of them. We'll see if Oreo can do another miraculous hold.
Yeah, there's a lot of Archons, and this is a bit of a choky point. This war is also attributing to that, but as we see, you know, there's only really 4 Spore Crawlers. You can focus those Brews down with the Tempest. Apologies for Broodlords. And even though he's got an Ultra pushing back this army with no Immortals, it's going to drop, and it looks like he's just going to aim with, like, this happens to me every ZvP.
Exactly. See a couple of Neurals going down, but it's just not enough. GG gets called, and Nice will take game number 1.
That he will indeed, light. So Nice is going to go 1 up in the series. There was you know, flashes of brilliance there from Oreo. However, he did play quite well, but just, I guess, not expecting the multi-prong, not really respecting the I guess the micro capability of Nice. You know, sending the queens out to take out the rocks, and it just snowballed a bit from there. But
yeah,
I think that game number 2, I think if Oreo gets off on the right foot again, we could have a game on our hands.
I'll be honest, like, looking back at that game, like, sure, obviously, like, you know, getting spores and respecting the Stargate opener from Nice really did hurt Oreo, but honestly, like, when it came to his push, it was pretty well executed, and I think Oreo may even win the game, if he may even win the game if he just if he had killed that Robo when he got to the natural. Like, remember that disruptor shot that killed like 6 Hydras? Like, I don't know if that's the difference between him breaking Nice then and there or not. Like, because that was a really good disruptor shot, if you remember.
It was, yeah. And we have to keep in mind, Oreo is kind of on the verge of kind of, you know, tipping the scales there, but that disruptor hit, you know, very good amount of queens, and oh, it looks like light has messed up.
Oh god.
But as we just get our lobby sorted out, but I think that, you know, Nice looked on the back foot there for a moment, and if he didn't get that many queens and hydras, that could have been a different kind of game.
Oh yeah, completely different. And of course, from that moment, it was basically just Oreo playing from behind. Playing from behind for quite a while there, but we'll see how game number 2 goes. I do think that, again, if we have more of an even footing in the mid game, I almost want to favor Oreo a little bit there. Like, I like, imagine that game if he had that 4th base up on time and had a 5th going, you know? Like, it could have been completely different, but here we go. We are loading into game number 2.
Here we go, like, it is going to be on Berlingrad. So, as we load into it, spawning in the top left, the 11 o'clock position, it is our Protoss player from Taiwan playing for Good Game Gaming. He is up 1-0 in this series. Can he close it out? It's Nice.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Berlingrad LE. Let's go, going for a 12 full opener. Paying homage to old mate Rex. Representing the CranKy Ducklings, it's the Australian Zerg player. It is Oreo.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is quite a fast scout by Nice here. Depends if he's going to dip in when he dips in the main. He's already dropped his gateway, so nothing really different is going on. But Oreo sending a drone down. Looks like he's just going to mine the minerals in the middle, or I'm not sure what he's doing here, like.
Yeah, he's going across the map, mate. He's going for a proxy hatch.
Hatchery?
Yeah, boy.
Oh.
Mate, Rex always tells him to do this. And if you see that Oreo keeps messaging him like, "Yo, how do I beat Maxed? What do I do?" And Rex is like, "Mate, just 12 pull proxy hatch. Yeah, just do it, man. Yes. Just go for it."
And actually, we see a second gateway dropped here for Nice. And he's not going to be able to get this hatchery in to maybe wall off. I think with the extractor, he can't put it down. But there we go. It's not going to wall off the base exactly light, but it is that nuisance now, and it makes it hard to wall off behind.
Oh yes, it does. Meanwhile, the Lings are on the way. Not just 6 Lings, we have far more on the way as well. Oreo is 100% all in here, and we'll see if he can really break on through. Nice is trying to chrono out that Zelt as desperately as possible, even pull some boys to try and DPS down this hatchery.
Yeah, and we see that gateway, there's a lot of surface area on it, so I'm curious to see if he pops the Zealot on the outside or inside. Looks like on the inside, and is that a wall light? I think it might just be indeed, and Nice, doesn't want to let the Link slip in, and this is where the micro happens.
Yeah, exactly, he has to be so careful here with this Zealot. It is so crucial that he keeps alive. Meanwhile, the micro is pretty good here from Oreo. He's trying to chip away at this Cybercore for the time being. More Lings are coming across the map. Up, and he will not get this around.
Yeah, no, I think if you look at the damage the Lynx have done, Nice just kind of needs to chill here, really. If we look, Oreo hasn't got a gas at home, and I'd expect him to move out with his 2 Adepts and 2 Zealots, and he could really possibly do a bit of damage here. And Oreo didn't really work out the proxy hatch. He did delay the base a little bit. Delaying this gas too is pretty cute, but he has to be careful with his counter attack.
Oh, he wants the gas steal so bad. I love it. But you're correct. You're completely correct here. Like Oreo, like the investment into this 12 pool didn't really go the way that he would have liked. Obviously, it did disrupt Nice's opener. Don't get us wrong. That did happen. You know, the second pylon was forced to be down here as a part of the main wall as well. The gas. Oh, he actually got the gas. Oh my god.
Ooh. Cute little move there. Yeah, delay tech a little bit, but yeah, we see the Adepts moving out. This can be scary, like.
Yeah, without speed, the positioning of these Lings is going to be so crucial to be sure that they are within range of these workers in the main, in the natural, and oh my god, we have a macro hatch.
Looks like we could have a Ling flood on our hands here, like from Oreo, and then he's gonna have to just keep these Adepts out. Seeing that many Lings, he may not finish his shade. Actually, he might if he wants to be a bit risky. Yes, he might even scout this macro hatch if he's not careful.
Oreo has to be so careful. He can't chase those Adepts and force them into the corner. He has to be like, oh god. He has to be so careful. And up.
Yeah, that's a bit of a trigger though for Nice, seeing no drones at their natural, and he sees it inject as well. There's no tumor, and I think maybe the bells will be ticking. He's coming in to scout. Oreo pulling away there, but I think it might indeed be a Ling flood. We got an Evo, however.
Interesting. Obviously the Evo and maybe even a Bane Nest because he hasn't pulled out of gas. Quickly check. He actually hasn't started Ling speed. Which should be on the way, right? Yeah. Okay. I was like, what's the purpose of this drone out here? Okay, he will go back in. It is just gonna be Lings, no Bane Nest.
Yeah, the only thing I can really think that he's planning to do here with this extra hatchery, he's definitely gonna flood Lings.
Yeah.
But I think it's a little bit late. Maybe with that gateway, he thinks he can get enough surface area, but Nice should be able to just wall off behind it, despite it being so exposed. And if we look at the worker count line, it's going more and more in Nice's favor, and he still sees there's no drones at the natural.
Yeah, he just keeps on checking, keeps confirming. Finally, Oreo is forced to reveal his hand here as all the Lings are shown and still no Ling speed inside. And oh god, Nice is just dancing around these bases.
Yeah, he's going to lose both these Adepts, but they were more than worth it, and we see Nice adding extra couple of gateways. He knows he just has to sit on the 2 bases. There's a lot of Lings coming, and expect to seeing shield battery here, maybe just tighten up the behind, and so he can put a gateway between that shield battery and the pylon to wall that off. So
yeah,
again looking quite dire for Oreo with his 20 drones, but he's committed. But has he really? Because he's got +1 melee. Does he commit now, or does he wait for that?
That's what I was about to ask. Like, do you think it's worth going for +1 melee instead of a Bane Nest? Like, obviously the likelihood of you busting isn't high because Nice has force fields available to him, but like, it takes so long to get +1 melee.
Yeah, no, I'd say, cute little scout with the Oracle there. I'd say definitely, he should have taken the initiative a bit earlier, grabbed his gas a bit sooner, transitioned out of that macro hatch once he realized it wouldn't work. But we see, Ori is fully all in. He's just making Lings. He's a little bit of a supply block here, and I think that Nice just needs to sit home, and I think he's fine. He's fine.
He should be fine. He should be fine. It looks like he also wants to move out. There we go. So maybe this is an ideal opportunity for Oreo to maybe try and get a surround on the army. But there's just so many sentries, force fields, of course. It's still going to be so difficult to really deal with this. But we'll see as Oreo does spot the move out.
Yeah, kind of a weird move out here by Nice. I'm not sure what he's kind of hoping to accomplish here. This is kind of one way he can throw this game. But actually, there we go. 7 Zealot Warp, and that's what he's accomplishing. He just needs to trade semi-efficiently, and Oreo's on 20 workers. And he's setting up for a flank here, maybe to grab the sentries, but yeah, no, the full wall off, this is not going to do too much.
Oreo is buying a lot of time though, and he's messing a lot of, there's a lot of Lings, mate. There's a lot of Lings. No, the force fields trap half of them. Oh god, now they're stuck. There's no way in, no way out. +1 melee did finish though. Maybe he can get the Cybercore. No, shield battery.
Yeah, Oreo's actually going to pull the trigger. There is a small little contingent of units by the Warp Prison, but now Oreo backs off. I feel like he's being very indecisive. He's not sure what he wants to do this game.
Yeah, he's stuck between a hard place and Nice, and he's throwing down some spines as well. As you said though, is there a world where maybe he can take this fight with force fields though? Like
I don't think he's down to 17 workers now as he makes 3 spine sentries sniping overlords. Like I think with the choke point here and these sentries, I think this is going to be a bad time for our Australian Zerg.
Yeah. I don't see how Nice can mess up this attack. Here we go, he pulls the trigger. We see a full surround from Oreo, but likewise, we should be seeing a full surround of these force fields.
Yeah, there we go. Force fields fully surrounding, reducing that surface area. These range units having a field day with the Zerglings. The spines do get up, however, but it's just not efficient enough trading for Oreo. He drops to a third of Nice's supply. And we're going to see GG. Nice takes a 2-0.
GG, well played. Nice does take the series. Obviously, game 2 nowhere near as close as game 1. Like game 1 was still so hype. I'm so happy that we were able to catch that game 1. But yeah, Nice does show that in the end, you know, there's a reason why he's one of the best in Taiwan.
Indeedly do, and we see trying to channel the power of Rex. Not quite. I'm not sure if Rex is kind of it's just gonna say do it better or there's something different to try. But we'll see. Nice will advance. Oreo, unfortunately, good to see him get invited. Actually, this Ascension Cup, there's some huge names. I'm sure this experience, even though it was a bit, you know, not the greatest for him, points wise, I guess on the board. I'm sure that having the experience against a good level Protoss will definitely help him in the future.
Yeah, definitely. I hope Oreo isn't too discouraged. I know he was a little bit salty after game number 1, but again, game number 1 was so sick. Like I hope he's able to get something good out of that in the end, because it was such a close series, or such a close game, I should say, despite it being a 2-0 in the end.
Yeah, indeed.